Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about Amy Klobuchar. A little bit of background on her. She is currently 57 years old and was born on May 25th, 1960 in Plymouth, Minnesota. She got her Bachelor of Arts degree from Yale University in 1982, and then she continued her education at the University of Chicago, where she got her Juris Doctor in 1985. She's currently married to John Betzler, and they've been married since 1993, and they have one daughter together. Her work history: she worked as a corporate lawyer while attending law school and was a partner at the Minnesota law firms Dorsey and Whitney and then Gray Plant Moody before she began her political career. She started her career as a court attorney for Hennepin County before being elected U.S. Senator of Minnesota in 2007, and then recently in 2017 she became a member of the Senate Rules Committee. For her professional development, she worked really hard to get her Juris Doctor, obviously, and then she worked as an attorney before becoming elected as U.S. State Senator. Her accomplishments: she was named Attorney of the Year in 2001 by Minnesota Lawyer, and she went to Yale University, which is obviously a huge accomplishment because it's hard to get into Yale, and she received her Juris Doctor and has been residing in the U.S. Senate. For the office she holds the U.S. State Senator office of Minnesota, and the duties of the office: they write and pass laws, they approve presidential appointments, they ratify treaties with countries, and represent people that elected them. So for her, she'd be representing the people of Minnesota since we elected her. Her major goals or accomplishments: one of her goals is to put partisanship aside to strengthen the economy and support families, workers, and businesses. She also wants to work for the economic policies to benefit Americans, and she wants to preserve our natural resources, care for her troops, and help Minnesotans get assistance from government agencies. Her party affiliation: she is a Democrat, and in hot-button issues for healthcare, Klobuchar wants to ensure that Minnesotans get low-cost, high-quality healthcare, and that immigration, obviously a huge hot-button issue, and she believes that we need to have border control and there are no amnesty for companies who hire illegal immigrants. She's also against Social Security for illegal immigrants. And her strengths: she worked in the court for many years before becoming U.S. State Senator, so she has many strengths in knowing what exactly the law says and does not say. She also knows that what the people want and works with those interests, including STEM education, and has a strong voice for middle-class families in the Midwest, which is one of the big things she's known for in the Senate. Her weaknesses: Klobuchar tends to get shortlisted for many political positions. She was nominated for president, vice president, justice of the Supreme Court, and for the vice president candidate, she was going to run with Hillary Clinton in 2016. But it's not necessarily a weakness that she was elected to be considered for those positions, but the weakness comes in the fact that she never seems to be able to receive those nominations, and so she just isn't quite good enough. For the history of the office she held, there are currently two Minnesota senators, the other being Tina Smith, and before those two were elected into office, the past holders were Mark Dayton, being the Class 1 senator, which is the same as Amy Klobuchar, and then Al Franken, the Class 2 senator. The party history of this office: a majority of it has been Republican, 26 in total, and 13 members have previously been Democratic. In the past two holdings of this office, so Amy Klobuchar, Tina Smith, Mark Dayton, and Al Franken, they were all Democrats. Famous people have held the seat: there really isn't necessarily any famous people who have been Minnesota state senators. Amy Klobuchar and Al Franken are probably the two most well-known Minnesota state senators. The biggest outcomes produced by the seat: I couldn't really find many extraordinary things that people have done while being the state senator of Minnesota. The position mainly just sits in the Senate, contemplating what has been suggested by others, and sometimes they do make their own suggestions, but nothing that stood out to me. The biggest problems faced by the seat: one of them came just recently in December of last year, when a charge came against Senator Al Franken of sexual harassment after a half dozen women stepped forward claiming that he sexually harassed them. And ultimately, this did lead to Al Franken's resignation in December 2016 from his seat in office. And then after that, Tina Smith was elected to take place of his office. my thoughts on this politician, I one of the things I like about Klobuchar are her goals. She wants to help the economy of middle class families, and I strongly agree with her position on preserving the environment. I also admire her hard work that has taken her to get to this position, because obviously going to Yale, getting her Juris Doctor, is not easy stuff, and so it really shows her dedication to getting this position. What I don't like about Klobuchar, there aren't many things that I don't like about Klobuchar. I do agree with many of her points, but a big thing I did find is her view on immigration. She firmly believes that we should have a stronger defense on the border to keep immigrants out of the country. And though I don't disagree that they shouldn't be here illegally, I do believe that they fought hard to get here, like many of our ancestors, because technically we're all immigrants. All our ancestors came from some other place, unless you're Native American, and they should be allowed civil rights because they worked hard to get here. What could this politician be doing to better their chances of re-election? Honestly, I don't think Klobuchar is doing anything wrong. She's been in office since 2007, so obviously people like her enough to keep voting for her back into office. And she seems to be a very strong voice in government, as she has been considered for nominations, like I said, for president, vice president, all those higher political offices. Based on my research, I believe that I would vote for Klobuchar because even though I don't agree with every single point she makes, many of her points have strong positions that I can agree enough with to vote for her. Then overall, I am glad I wrote about Klobuchar. I've been hearing her name on the news since I was little, and I really never knew much about her or really who she was. And so I'm glad that I got to do this opportunity to research her so that I learn more about her. So when I hear her name on news, I can recognize her and be like, oh yeah, I've learned about her. And I do enjoy her as a politician, and I'm glad she's representing Minnesota in the U.S. State Senate. Thank you.